What sparks you?
Noggin.
If you're feeling nostalgic about Nick Jr., the original Nick Jr. block on Nickelodeon, you're kind of really feeling the nostalgic about everybody's forgotten network for Nickelodeon, which is called Noggin. Now, as many of people watched Medora Entertainment's video, Noggin was a staple of everyone's childhood. And I mean a great deal of a childhood, because here's what Noggin is. Noggin is for a channel made for big kids, preteens, and teenagers. 2, a network for preschoolers and for recycled Nick Jr. shows. And a mobile app based streaming service. Now, right now, the name Noggin will mean nothing to them. So, as everyone may know, and seeing Medora Entertainment's video, we're going to find out what happened to Noggin and how did it get demised. We're going to find out. So, how did Noggin get created? And why is it now a mobile app? We're going to find out. In 1998, Nickelodeon and Children's Television Workshop, now known as Sesame Workshop, joined forces and invested in amount of money, which is expensive, and made a new brand called Noggin after the slight turn for head to do the educational focus. CTW, Play It Smart, proposed that Noggin should have advertisement commercials like Nick Jr. and Nickelodeon, but both companies decided to make it ad-free. This was practically for the best. Months followed, the two companies went to various schools to work their demographic of Noggin, ages 6 to 12-year-olds. One personalized ad based from somewhere frowned Nickelodeon and CTW for their search. As a result, the Noggin channel was launched on satellite and digital. At launch, the channel had lots of followers and reached a lot of households. It advertised itself with commercials on other networks, programming blocks on other networks, and others. Noggin aired lots of shows like classic Sesame Street, aired at Sesame Street Unpaved, The Electric Company, no, not the reboot, the classic Electric Company, Square One Television, 1-2-3 Sesame Street, Doug, Crow, The Busy World of Richard Scarry, and more. In addition, they also aired some shows for preschoolers. Noggin has an early morning block for young children, similar to the block on Nickelodeon, which is Nick Jr., like Gilla Gilla Island, Allegra's Window, the original Blue's Clues, and Kipper, and Franklin. Also, in addition, at night, Noggin got an adult retros block. According to a Wikipedia page. As a result, Noggin is really very popular and it's still around, even though it's an app streaming service. Many people thought it as a threat to PBS because Noggin aired Sesame Street, The Electric Company, and Square One Television and Ghost Rider, which aired on PBS before. In response to what happened, and since the 90s style looks a bit outdated anyway, Noggin received a facelift in the 2000s, which cashed into the cyberspace, if you will. that was very popular at the time. I mean, Noggin was weird. I mean, very weird. In 2000, Noggin received a new show called Bill Nye the Science Guy. You know, I remember the song. I think they said, Bill Nye the Science Guy. I think some people would remember him as he appears in some crossovers from Sesame Street and other shows since then, and even during some grown-up shows. I don't know. I just don't know. In 2001 and 2000 and 1999, Noggin had a mascot named Fred, P-H-R-E-D. He was a anthropomorphic pickle who started his own show, Fred on Your Head. This was Noggin's first original show, and it wouldn't be the last. In 2000, Noggin made another original series called Ubi, a hand puppet named Ubi that goes on various adventures with his friend Keiko and his grandpa or Grandpoo. He also has a sister named Uma. Well, kind of weird. I'm sure everyone wasn't very surprised at that point. But, hey, that's what happens when you're looking back at your childhood. In 2001, Noggin introduced us the Hubbub. It is a programming blog that focused everybody to the Noggin website. Shows aired on the Hub were like Ghost Rider, Big Kids, Bill Nye the Science Guy, and A Walk in Your Shoes. And another show was added. This show was Spunk. And there's also a spin-off series of Fred on Your Head called The URL with Fred Show. And as for the Hubbub programming block, I'm not confused with the former Kids Branch preschool block of the Hub Network, now known as Discovery Family. Yeah, it's like, think about live stream chats on YouTube. However, unfortunately, in December of 2001, the Hubbub was discontinued and was finished off in December 2001. Also, during 2001, you know what happened. In 2001, the Jim Henson Company sold its share of Noggin and its rights to the Sesame Street Muppets to Sesame Workshop, originally known as Children's Television Workshop, Play It Smart, which left Ubi as the only show left for preschoolers on Noggin. This became a problem because preschool-oriented programming was part of Noggin's bread and butter, which means Noggin's morning block was discontinued because of that issue. And so, in March 2002, Noggin manager Tom Aschheim, who is now Cartoon Network president, announced that Noggin would be divided into two blocks, one for younger children and one for older children and preteens. And so, on April Fool's Day 2002, Tom Aschheim's plans were carried out. Noggin was a channel for preschoolers. It was transformed into a channel for preschoolers. And to fill the void that Noggin left behind, the M was launched, which was aimed at teenagers and preteens, including the addition for Noggin with Play With Me Sesame and 1 to 3 Sesame Street and Tiny Planets. So Noggin's former audience had the N, which had many of the old Noggin shows and kind of filled the void that Noggin left behind because of it. Well, however, the N aired Spunk, The Electric Company, and The Ghost Rider. The N is another story for another video, so let's get back to Noggin. With the new Noggin came with a whole roster of new shows, such as Allegra's Window, Gullah Gullah Island, Blue's Clues, Maisie and Kipper, and many more. Noggin received a new Sesame Workshop produced series known as Tiny Planets, where two aliens named Bane and Bon go on various planets learning about subjects. there were also storytime shorts, also known as And Then What Happened, which means a fairy tale would be read by a narrator and then a kid would make his or her own addendum. It's pretty cool, I think. In August of 2002, Sesame Workshop sold its share of Noggin to Nickelodeon and Viacom, which meant that Noggin is totally under Viacom and Nickelodeon's control. It didn't affect programming, and Noggin continued to air Sesame Workshop produced shows. However, even though Sesame Workshop sold its 50% interest in Noggin to Viacom and Nickelodeon, Sesame Workshop continued to work with Noggin to make new original series. New originals were added. Some Sesame Workshop produced shows have been taken out. So, a new Sesame Workshop produced show had been added to the lineup, such as the Upside Down Show. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite type of show because it's part of Noggin's original show along with Sesame Workshop. It's my favorite. Shane and David going on various adventures, traveling from door to door to different rooms, trying to get to some place they're very confused about. What is the picnic? What's an airport? And what's a camp out? I remember because it's pretty funny all of a sudden. I also remember this Faint is that very, very hairy song. Okay, that's enough. Let's get back to Noggin. So, while Noggin programmed everything, great, new Nick Jr. originals, classic original from Nick Jr., a few more Sesame Workshop series have been taken out. These include Tiny Planets and 1 to 3 Sesame Street, as Play With Me Sesame had been accessible on PBS Kids Sprout. It didn't leave a gaping hole. Content for Noggin. As a result of what happened during August 2002, the creative and executives thought it was a good time to redesign Noggin. So, Noggin was given another facelift on April 6th, 2003. A Noggin with even more arts and crafty styling designed to evoke a preschool, and new hosts, Moose A. Moose and his friend Z. This is also when the slogan, "It's like preschool on TV," based off of an ad campaign based from the slogan, were launched. I remember those good old days. Anyway, in 2007, on August 31st, 2007, and during 2007, Nickelodeon and Viacom publicly announced that Nick Gas would be discontinued and that the N would take over its channel space. On August 31st, 2007, Nick Gas kicked the bucket and made way for the N. So, Noggin and the N, known as the Noggin, became their own separate networks rather than sharing the same channel. This was to show how similar the two networks' demographics were. So, Noggin became a 24-hour channel, along with the N. So, a lot of Sesame Workshop produced shows have been taken out. Tiny Planets and Play With Me Sesame as well, and 1 to 3 Sesame Street. Yeah, I can't believe they did that. Can't believe Viacom dropped some Sesame Workshop produced shows, as some Sesame Workshop produced shows were already accessible on PBS Kids Sprout and didn't leave a gaping hole of classic content. Just over 2 years later, in 2009, everything changed dramatically. February 22nd, 2009. The original Nick Jr. block on Nickelodeon was rebranded as Nickelodeon's Playdate. The block's branding was based off of the Noggin's arts and crafty styling. It's based off from the Noggin brand. Yeah, kind of weird, I think, because who do that? It took place in 2009. On March 12, 2009, Nickelodeon and Viacom announced that Noggin would be rebranded as Nick Jr. as a spin-off of Nickelodeon's long-running preschool block ever since 1988. And also, during 2009, the new Nick Jr. logo was unveiled. using a style that would be implemented with the other Nick brands as well later that year. Yeah, the Nickelodeon Splat logo and lots of other logos from the Nickelodeon style, which branded the channel ever since from the past, were all retired. Replaced by a modern age light bulb front of the Nickelodeon logo. Whether you loved them or hated them, some shows ended production during the 2000s. So, Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob, other shows like Jimmy Neutron, Back at the Barnyard, Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness during the 2010s and 2000s. Some all Nicktoons ended production in the 2000s and 2010s. But those shows are another story for another video. I will cover Nickelodeon in a future video. Back to Noggin / Nick Jr. So anyway, though the channel was renamed to Nick Jr., Nick Jr. retained its Noggin styling with Moose and Z in the preschool styling until 2012 when the channel was rebranded entirely. What happened to the poor old Moose A. Moose and his friend Z? Well, I'm afraid they were both retired and were off the air on the Nick Jr. channel, which had the Noggin styling with the arts and craftsy styling and the preschool styling, replaced by the modern era bumpers. As the Upside Down Show, Ubi, and a few others wrapped up their required time on the channel, like Lazy Town, the Upside Down Show, Ubi, and many more. They wrapped up their required time on the channel. 2012 will see Nickelodeon's Playdate be rebranded as its Simply Nick, the smart place to play. On the Nick Jr. channel, what formerly known as the Noggin channel, a number of shows stopped airing completely. These included Wow Wow Wubsy, Ni Hao Kai Lan, Ubi, The Upside Down Show, Lazy Town, The Wonder Pets, Go Diego Go, Dora the Explorer, Dora and Friends Into the City, The Fresh Beat Band, The Fresh Beat Band of Spies, spin-off of The Fresh Beat Band. All of them are all eliminated from the Nick Jr. channel in the 2010s time period. Whoever's pulling the strings at Viacom effectively made a huge difference in scheduling the content within a few months. So, the Noggin brand laid dormant for a few years. Fans were really worried if their beloved channel was gone, but however, it isn't gone just yet because 3 years later, in 2015, it was announced that Noggin would be relaunched as an online streaming service. Noggin has basically had all the shows that were from Nick Jr. and Noggin. The app features all the shows from Nick Jr. and Noggin, and they cost $7.99 a month. But now as $0.99 today, and for the near future or something like that. There is also a growing Noggin community on the internet and on Discord. There's also Noggin's Legacy. Noggin is a great and awesome brand by Sesame Workshop and joint venture with Sesame Workshop, aka CTW, known as Children's Television Workshop. Play it smart. Don't take my word for it. Like what Medora Entertainment said, watch the videos. Visit Noggin.com for the Wayback Machine. Get a subscription for the app. You will not be disappointed. Oh yeah, just accept the fact that Noggin retired the Moose and Z brand again. Because even on the Noggin app, Noggin retired the Moose and Z brand. Again, even as a TV app. Video app. Oh yeah, and I almost forgotten to mention during 2002 to 2003, there was also a new mascot named Feet Face, aquamarine anthropomorphic head with legs, who would play games with his viewers in between shows. I forgot to mention him. I am so sorry about that. As for the state of Nick Jr. today, according to some people, the shows are hideous. But yes, we still got shows that are extraordinary, like Abby Hatcher, Rainbow Rangers, Peppa Pig, Paw Patrol, and the Blues Clues and You, aka the Blues Clues reboot that rebooted my childhood, and some people who are excited for the show exclusively, Baby Shark's Big Show. But then you have schedules that are not that great because according to some people, they want the older Nick Jr. classics back. And according to some people, you got shows like Santiago of the Seas, which everyone thinks they're claiming that is a ripoff of Jake and the Neverland Pirates. And some people thinking that Baby Shark's Big Show was a ripoff of like Kenny the Shark or Shark Tale, whatever the fucking hell. Why would they do that? I can't believe I just cursed like that. Sorry. And some other people saying that can't that everyone's bringing back Moose, that everyone wanted Nick Jr. to bring back Moose and Z were how can I put this politely? Not right, because Moose and Z were retired already, and some people are crying for Moose and Z. It's god awful. Yuck. I'm pretty sure some people would like Baby Shark. I mean, I still like Baby Shark because he brought back my liking of sharks ever since Kenny the Shark went away and Discovery Kids was demised and was rebranded as The Hub, now known as Discovery Family. I mean, some other people will like the junior shows. I mean, my sister used to love the Fresh Beat Band when she was a kid, but now she despises it because she said it's horrible in reality now. But that's not my point. Let me know in the comments. What do you think of Noggin? Do you think it was still a channel? Do you think it would make a comeback as a TV channel? Thanks for watching. And as always, stay tuned for another history video. Peace.